G'day. So I've been working on the 100 turbo motors per minute goal. What you can see down here is the circuit board setup, so a whole bunch of assemblers and constructors making silica. I'm not going to be going through that in detail this video. In this video, what I want to go through is Fry's factories. So Fry, you've probably noticed by now, I have an American friend who helps me when he's not too busy. He's actually done quite a few factories, and I've quite often said I'll show them later. So I'm going to make this video about showing the factories that he's done. Now, I'm not going to be able to give you all the exact numbers of how he's done it, but we're just going to take a little tour of all his factories, and yeah, that's about it. So let's start with this one down here, the Caterium ingot factory. So let's head over there now. Alright, so just before we head into the actual factory, I'll explain what it is. Basically, it grabs the two pure nodes of Caterium, so the one pure node of Caterium from over there and the other pure node of Caterium there, uses the pure recipe and turns it into as many pure Caterium ingots as possible, which turns out to be 780 per minute. I just know that because we've done a similar factory before with our modded playthrough. I like the way he's come in here nice and neatly with these nice neat buses, conveyor buses. Alright, just having a quick look from this perspective. You see the hypertube takes us to the main base if we ever need to come down this factory and look at anything. And he's done a nice little bridge here over the void and to bring the stuff in. We've got triple holes there just in case we need to use them for anything else later. And here's the miner on the second pure node of Caterium. You see a few water extractors here, and I'll switch to hover pack so we can go in and have a look around. He's done a bit of decoration on the outside, make it look pretty cool. Painted a bit because it is doing the golden nuggets or the golden bars, Caterium. Come in here. We might actually also wait till this is at night time as well, because he's put a bit of effort in here, making everything look neat. As you can see, the lighting in here is all golden as you come to the center. I like the way he puts the power poles on these walkways here. I personally don't do that, but I like it. Looks cool. Looks really good. So as you can see under here, it's all nice and golden looking. And as you come up into here, he certainly has not spared any expense with the lighting, and everything is nice, compact, and fits in beautifully. So again, yeah, it's I'm not sure how many refineries this in. 60, probably between 60 or 70 refineries making pure. What have we got here? The pure Caterium ingot recipe, and those pure ingots. Actually, we could turn the lights off here if we need to. Those pure ingots get sent up to the main base. And that's basically it. It's a nice factory overlooking the void here, and foundation frames have been used. Just come out here for a second. You see how cool it looks. The foundation frames looks like the actual water is flowing underneath the factory. So that's that one. That's two pure nodes of Caterium making 780 Caterium ingots per minute, and that goes up into main base to make quick wire, which goes towards our 100 turbo motors per minute goal. And there we go. The hypertube takes us from that factory all the way down there, all the way up to the central hub area where we've got our sorting area. I think I've probably already showed this in another video, but we've fancied up our statue stands, and we've got this one here waiting for the nut. Alright, so that's the Caterium ingots coming up. Now, what are they used for? They're used to make the quick wire. So we have the quick wire factory here, and Fry has built this one as well. So this is turned off at the moment. I might even just turn it on. We're using the fused quick wire. As you can see here, it uses 5 times as much copper as it does Caterium, but it's very efficient. We're making 9,600 quick wire here, roughly, from memory. And the copper factory I've already shown in a previous video that I built. and that's down there. If I can just peek over here, that's the pure copper factory. Not as fancy as what Fry did, but functional. And that sends all the copper ingots up here. Most of those copper ingots are used in this quick wire factory. And I'll just briefly turn that on, and hopefully I don't crash the computer. It should be fine. So crank that up. At the moment we're using about 97,000 megawatts with everything running. Alright, so you'll see that that comes on. We're not actually using the quick wire for anything just yet, apart from sending a little bit of it to our automatic storage system. So that's running. See, I'll probably lose a few frames with this running. The reason we're not... Oh, I don't have any hover pack. The reason we're not turning it off... The reason we turn it off is because at the end of the day, Quickwire doesn't really give you that much tickets, even though we are shredding like 9,500 per minute. Excuse me. It doesn't give you that much. You'll see here, it's quite a sporadic graph up and down. I think this is every time a plutonium fuel rod goes in the sink, because they're actually worth a fair bit, and we're crushing a few of those now. Anyway, we'll have a quick look around this factory. It's pretty like basic because it's inside the main base. It's nice and compact. I like the way you set this up here. Nice manifolds and a bit of room underneath for other things to move underneath. Right, so not sure how many assemblers are here. I think there's about, actually I think from memory, 104 assemblers in this factory. And yeah, it makes 9,500 quick wire per minute. You'll see the copper here now that I've turned it on. You see, I think these are 650 lines coming in from down there, and then 5 of these lines of copper go into this quick wire factory here. It's nice and compact. Again, it's in the main base, and we haven't fully like enclosed it yet, but that's what we're doing. And he's brought the copper ingots through the floor up here and smashing them in. Everything you see here, all these machines, they're all just literally to make items to go into our automatic storage system for personal supply. Cool, so moving on. Talking about personal supply items, we'll go down and see these two factories here. This one here is the basics, I guess we'll call it the basics factory. It does concrete, rods, plates, screws, pipes, all the basic materials. And actually, if I look at this line here, you'll see that that's what's coming up here. All the basic materials, cable, wire, all of that. Okay, that factory there is doing that, and that was a team effort. Haven't really shown it in detail, but we'll have a quick look. And this factory back here is the weapons factory. So Fry's done this one, and that makes nobelisks, rifle ammo, and also it makes beacons. So let's head over there and have a look. Alright, so we're down on the factory now. Main base up there, train station over there, and there's the weapons factory. We're just standing on the roof now. This is where the hypertube gets you there, and you see all the items coming out. And these items are literally going into our automatic storage system for personal supply for building stuff. Just have a quick look inside. Right, you can come in here. There's a nice little lookout tower. The most complex item that we're making in here is the heavy modular frames. Oh, I'm stuck on this thing. So yeah, heavy modular frames, and we are barely making them. So none of this, you'll see in here, none of this is like maxed out efficiency. It's all literally just one node of copper, one node of iron, one node of limestone, one node of coal, just to trickle in the items. That's all it's for, personal supply. And you'll see that this barely ever makes one of these, but it doesn't really matter. And in fact, we've even made a factory for heavy modular frames in the desert now, so we've got a lot of those getting made. Just replace that. And yeah, that's that factory. Nothing too special, just a basic supply factory. We'll move on to the weapons factory. Alright, so this is the weapons factory. You'll see the output line for it here. I'm not actually sure what's going on. He must have got some overflow of pipes and rubber coming out, going through there and doing its thing in there, going up to the main base. But the main job of this factory is to make the weapons, so the nobelisks and the ammo. And because ammo requires beacons to make, we're making beacons as well. The rubber, actually, because rubber is required in ammo, comes in a train from way over there. But I'll show that in a sec. Alright, it has gotten dark. That's okay. Let's just do it at night time. Yeah, so assemblers down the bottom here. It's all glass walls. Up to constructors, making steel things. We're making the compacted coal, or the black powder. Got some steel here, coming all the way up to the top, where at the top we have the two manufacturers. One of them making the rifle cartridges, this one's making the beacons, and the nobelisks are getting made just underneath. And we have an unlimited supply of ammo and explosives now. So we'll just take a look at the back here. This little train station here, it actually accepts rubber, and also it is grabbing this sulfur node here and sending it over to another factory to do some things. But there, yeah, that's basically it. We may even put a little roof and tower on top of this, we just haven't gotten around to it. Alright, before I move on to the next factory, I just want to mention that this stuff here is another thing. It's not really a factory, but more of a project, side project that Fry's been working on. It is the actual space elevator parts for project assembly. So he's just slapped together a few machines here, grabbing all the parts we need from all over the place and making things like magnetic field generator, what do we got here, adaptive control unit, all the things that go towards project assembly for the space elevator, and to get that golden coffee cup pretty much. I haven't been doing any of this. Fry's just been chipping away at this on the side, and as you can see, we have a lot of stuff built up over time. So really, I don't know, I haven't calculated the numbers because my main goal has been working on the 100 turbo motors per minute goal. And Fry's kind of just been chipping away at the project assembly on the side. Yeah, so the reason we have this little platform going out here to the space elevator is like so we can actually walk up to the space elevator and access it, tell us what we need. And this pretty much, I was going to finish the 100 turbo motors per minute and then worry about this. Okay, but Fry kind of said, hey, we've got the parts, let's kind of start doing it on the side. If you watch the previous episodes of this playthrough, you'll see I've built a crystal oscillator factory as well. And I'll just quickly explain what's going on here. Right, so when they released update 4, if I can just drag this across onto the screen, you'll see over here I planned out the crystal oscillators. This is for 100 turbo motors per minute project. We needed to make 57 crystal oscillators per minute to make these radio control units. And then they changed the recipe. And because I had already planned out everything, it turned out that we need 102 crystal oscillators. So long story short, we made a crystal oscillator factory, and then it turned out we needed more crystal oscillators. So now we've built another crystal oscillator factory. This one makes, I think, 42 crystal oscillators per minute. And let's go have a look through it. Switch to the hover pack here. Right, so again, Fry's kept my OCD not going out of control. He's done nice, neat, like bus lines coming in. The main difference between the crystal oscillator factory that I built and the one that he built is he has actually done his without using any copper. And the water that he uses, it comes in by train, right? So come in this nice neat building here, everything looks pretty cool. Just put some lights there. Come under here, and the water is arriving via train, and then we have a big train station here which actually takes the crystal oscillators themselves. He's called it Crystal Bunker because it's kind of like a bunker underneath here. The crystal oscillators themselves, they go to the main base, and then because in this area of the map there's actually 6 normal nodes of quartz crystal, they actually go back to the main base on this one train. We have a big train coming in, grabbing a whole bunch of crystal quartz, raw quartz, along with the crystal oscillators, which are stacked up because we're not really using them just yet, and takes it to the main base. Most of this quartz is used to make silica for the 100 turbo motors per minute project. But enough of that, let's go have a look around this factory. So that's the bottom floor where the finished product goes onto the train, and over here there's a hypertube, and that'll shoot us back over to the main base as long as we equip a jetpack. Before we go underneath, before we go up, he's got a explorer there and a open area here for us to like grab that and go off into the desert or whatever if we need to. Okay, up to the next floor. You'll see all the quartz, the raw quartz getting mixed with the water to make the pure quartz crystal. Over here we have a set of manufacturers. Excuse the frame drops. I do have the fog turned off. And you'll see a bunch of manufacturers here sitting on this, and then above that even more manufacturers getting made on this floating platform here. Now what I do like about this factory, apart from the fact that the whole thing is nice and neat and it looks really cool in here, is this middle platform here is kind of floating, and Fry has supported it with these cables purely for aesthetics. But it actually looks really cool, and there's no clipping throughout this factory. It's really good. Alright, so these are floating manufacturers, and then we come up even higher. Yeah, that's the thing about this factory. It didn't use any copper. Everything's made with the iron. We're using the alt recipe to make iron wire, just because of the resource nodes available. Some nice windows here to look over the swamp. Yeah, and then as we come out to the roof here, you'll see a whole bunch more assemblers, manufacturers making the crystal oscillators. All in all, it's a pretty nice looking factory. Alright, so there, I'm not going to go over there, but that's a basic little water train station pickup and a train junction. We got 2 of these trains delivering water to the crystal oscillator factory. From in there, just a few water extractors and a train station, and then it actually goes around here as well, because we've got plans for out here potentially later when we use plutonium fuel rods. Alright, just before we go over and have a look at the quick wire factory for the nuclear, I just wanted to show, because I haven't shown close up before, where I got the impure node. Most people would be aware of the impure node of uranium up there, and I decided to just get it nice and easily with this setup here. Okay, it's nothing fancy at all, but it is no clipping and it is nice and neat. So I just got foundations going all the way up there, power going all the way up, and just a belt system going all the way up to there. It is what it is. That's what it is. I felt like getting a drone to get up there is just more hassle than what it's actually worth, considering you have to have you have to put power at a drone place anyway. So if I'm going to run power up there, I may as well run a belt up there. That was my decision-making progress for that. Alright, so here is the central logistic hub for the nuclear project, probably the biggest project we've done so far in this playthrough. And you can see all the factories laid out. The nuclear plant's over there, and over here a whole bunch more factories. It required a lot of work. But over here is a nice quick wire factory that Fry built, and we'll go have a quick look at that. Alright, so here's the Caterium train station that drops all the Caterium off. The Caterium then goes underneath here to the distribution floor. It comes down 4 lines, a little bit of load balancing here. You can see the Caterium here, 4 lines of Caterium, and they go off into this factory, and then the factory spits out quick wire to a whole bunch of different areas of this project. I'm actually, off the top of my head, I forgot how much quick wire this is making, but it's a fair bit. Let's just leave it at that. And look at this. This factory is beautiful. It is very nice to look at. Everything else here is neat. These other factories, but they don't quite look as fancy as this one. I told Fry not to get too carried away, but I can't stop him when he does. But the end result is something that looks bloody awesome, to be honest. So there's our 4 lines of deuterium going in, and then all the quick wires coming out here, and it goes across to a whole bunch of different areas. And fantastic. I'm going to get an autosave in a second, but I'll skip that. Alright, autosave complete. I really like the way that as you look at the entrance of this factory, you look down there, it actually lines up with that pole down there for the train system. When it was first built, the pole was actually not lined up. So naturally, to fix that, I just got Fry to move the entire factory 1 square over to make it line up with that pole. And that was really good that he did that. Okay, so let's just have a quick little fly around. What I like is everyone, when they play Satisfactory, they have their own little personal little things that they do. This diagonal method, I don't usually do that. I've never done it, but it looks cool, and I like the way he's gone and done that. Nice glass floors, nice neat water extractors at the back here. The difference between this quick wire factory and the one I showed at the start is basically this one. We're using the pure recipe for ingots, but we're not using the fused quick wire. We're just using the regular quick wire in constructors, and it works out quite well. If you are going to build a quick wire factory, this is quite a good way to do it. Is, as you can see, because this spits out 12 per minute, and these constructors, they actually use 12 per minute. So when you lay out a factory with these certain recipes, the refinery, you can literally just shove a constructor on the end of each refinery, and the numbers work out perfectly. And then this is pretty cool. He's got the second set of constructors up the top here, and all nice neat cabling and belt work. And that is that. That is the factories that Fry's done. Not everything that he's done, but just the main ones for this playthrough that I haven't shown. I've always said I was going to go through. That's what they are, and they're pretty cool. For the rest of this video, I want to keep it quick, so depending on how long it goes, I'll just briefly go through what I've been doing for the next project, and I'll drag that across on the screen right now. So we're doing the 100 turbo motors. That's the main goal. Here's the main spreadsheet. Things in green have been done. These circuit boards were done at the very start of the video I showed. The next thing I'm doing is this 6,120 aluminium casings, and it is a big one. So let me just go across to here. I've made its own spreadsheet. If you have a look at the numbers here, you'll notice that it's quite extensive. The amount of bauxite we need is actually all the bauxite in the map. So yeah, so much water, so much quartz. I actually had to use certain recipes that I didn't really want to use. I wanted to use blenders, but I need to, because of the amount of quartz in the map as well. Anyway, enough with the numbers. Let's just bring across this. I've got this loaded up. Righty-o. So we actually have to use the rest of the bauxite that's left in the map, and I've started doing that. Here's another logistics hub. This is all just to make aluminium casings. I don't want to spend too much time on this, just a brief show through of what I've done. The map's not really loading for me, unfortunately. Come on. No, it's not doing it. Alright, so over here, a whole bunch of water is going to get taken all the way up these train lines into this, because it needs a lot of water. I need to collect every single bauxite node. I've gone through and grabbed these, brought it onto this bus, got to grab all this copper. We're actually going to use this oil as well for petroleum coke, and we need a hell of a lot of limestone. So I've got a limestone grabbing hub here. We've used 7 pure nodes of limestone, which is absolutely crazy as well. And then at the end of the day, at the end of this project, there will be no bauxite left in the map. and there will be one pure node of quartz, the one in this cave here, left. So I picked the number of 100 turbo motors on purpose because I knew it wasn't going to push the map's resources to its limitations. But it turns out with the amount of bauxite we use for nuclear and a whole bunch of other things, I was pushing it to the limit with the bauxite recipes. Where am I going to land here? As you can see here in the center of the red forest, I've got a logistics hub that I'm working on, and I've done an epic train spiral here. If I can land on this, it'll be pretty handy. It seems like a good spot. I'm losing quite a few frames. Oh, what the hell? Damn it. I'll be right back. Alright, now that that's sorted out. Okay, so down here is a water farm. You'll see that they actually look a different color because when you go, they all are light blue, but when you go a certain distance, you'll see the color. The coloring doesn't render. So I've got 2 water farms bringing a shit ton of water all the way along here, and then up this massive spiral here, because that's one way of getting up there, I guess. Into the logistics hub up there. There's also a epic limestone factory over here. Not a limestone factory, but a pickup point. So what we'll do is just have a quick look at that, and then I will leave it there. Alright, so here we are over at the limestone pickup area, and in the top left of the map, you probably know that there's a hell of a lot of pure nodes of limestone, and we need 7 pure nodes of limestone. This may look a little bit crazy, even though it's all neat. However, this is load balancing 7 pure nodes into 9 train stations. That's what that's doing. And what do we need all the limestone for? To make cheap silica. Because it's actually getting to the point where we're running low on the world's resources of quartz crystal, so I need to make cheap silica. What I've done here is got some nice neat belts going around all this northern area, and grabbing the 7 pure nodes of limestone and bringing it to this train station. Also here, have a single normal node of quartz coming in, because we need to grab a lot of quartz. Most of it's going to be on a belt bus, but this one's going to be on the train. And these 6 stations here are for iron, because we're going to do some alloy copper ingots. But anyway, that's just to show that I am working on another massive project, and the logistics side of it is probably one of the hardest parts. And to be completely honest, logistics is probably the biggest part of any project. Once you've got all the logistics sorted out, if you want to do it neat like I do, once you have all the stuff into one area, building the actual factory itself is not even the hard part. That's the easy fun part. But there we go over there. You can probably see a nice logistics hub, which I'm starting to build for this epic aluminium casing project. That will all be grounded eventually. Hopefully this video didn't go for too long. I'm trying to make them quick, but that's gonna do for today, and I'll catch you later.